Well, today, the U.S. Supreme Court ended its term with rulings on several high-profile cases, and it came once again with mixed results for the Trump administration. And today, the Supreme Court handed the administration some wins, such as allowing states to ban transgender athletes from girls' sports teams and lifting the cap on campaign spending. However, in a blow to President Trump's immigration agenda, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship for millions of people born in the United States. And that's the decision that we're going to focus on first tonight. I'm joined in studio now by legal analyst Barry Covert. Again, thank you for joining us. The Constitution's guarantee that those born in the United States are automatically U.S. citizens, almost considered sacred for so many people.
Well, it's not only sacred, but it's clearly laid out in the 14th Amendment. Like, there's some laws or constitutional provisions that you can try to interpret one way or the other. It says when you're born in the U.S., you're a U.S. citizen. And this changed since the Dred Scott days. After Dred Scott, when they tried to say, no, it's only blood citizenship, you have to be born here to someone here that has property. We tried to change that as a country, and we enacted the 14th Amendment that says, no, if you're born here, you're a U.S. citizen unless you're the son or daughter of somebody in the embassy from Russia or England or something. Other than that, even if your parents are undocumented, if you are born here, you are a U.S. citizen. That has been very clear since the 14th Amendment was enacted, clearly set forth, and the Supreme Court said, we're not going to change plain language. That's the plain language. The executive branch can't change the Constitution unilaterally.
Can you imagine that if it was just the opposite? I don't even want to know what it would be like on the streets of America right now.
Well, imagine trying to figure out who a citizen is and who's not.
Exactly. The other ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court upholds state bans on transgender athletes and girls in women's sports specifically. Yes. Does this mean that schools can base eligibility for women in sports teams based on the biological sex?
It means that states can prevent someone who's biologically born a male from playing on female sports teams. So in this case, it was Idaho and West Virginia. They both had laws that prevented biologically born male, transgender, then playing on a female team. Supreme Court said Title IX does not prevent states from doing that. The 14th Amendment does not prevent states from doing that. Up to 26 states now have passed similar legislation. It does not mean, though, that states that did not pass that legislation with that prohibition have to now prevent someone born biologically male from playing on a female team. It's now state by state, unless Congress gets involved. Congress could try to say there's a national standard where if you're biologically born a male, you can't play on a female team. We don't have that yet. But the Supreme Court's saying that if states want to put that prohibition in place, they can do it. They're not prevented by Title IX or by the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause.
We have about 30 seconds left. You have to talk about the Supreme Court striking down long-time campaign finance rules. That's really important. What does
this is a direct overhaul from 2001 Supreme Court decision, which had a very different bench. Then in 2010, we have Citizens United, where basically the Supreme Court said that corporations are people. Corporations can spend money like people spend money. And now what we have is the limitation on you and I each being able to donate $7,000 to a candidate can now be circumvented, because now we can donate it to the political party, earmark it for that candidate. I can give the political party $500,000, $600,000, $1 million, and I can do it anonymously and say, now give that to Jim Smith. And whereas I can only give Jim Smith $7,000, I can donate it to the party and they can give it to Jim Smith. And so now we have no real limitations on campaign spending.
Legal analyst Barry Covert, as always, thank you for coming in, breaking it down. It's so important. This is for America to understand. So we appreciate your knowledge and your insight this evening.